G'day guys, Chris here from Vo-Gus Prospecting. Today it is one of the last days we have in the really hot weather before we've got forecast rain, and I haven't done it all summer. We're out here doing some dry pan crevicing. So hopefully we can find some nice gold. The gold up this gully is sporadic, but it's big. So if you find a bit, you usually find a big bit. There's not much small stuff. Without further ado, let's get cracking. So, dry panning utilizes the same principles as wet panning, but we're going to do two things today. We're going to show you technique using Michael's pan, which is a Garrett Super Sluice, and we're going to use the gold claws, which apparently are very good at dry panning. I haven't done this before, so we will see what happens and we'll learn together. Oh. And keep an eye out because you might see it just sitting there. Yeah. It's a tough camera. I hope so. This is harder work than what you're going to be used to with water. It takes you considerably longer with one of these pans. The advantage is, once again, that you can work arid areas. So we've just taken a whole heap of dirt out from a likely spot. Michael's just clearing out some of the large rocks. You could obviously use the classifier, but we don't have one on us today. You get a pan about 3/4 full. That's what you want. Pick it from a likely spot. It is unlikely that you're going to see the gold. The best way to do this is to pan it off and collect the concentrates and pan with water at home. Because we don't have water, we need friction. Friction acts like the water. To do that, we find something like a log or a rock that we can cause the friction on the bottom of the pan. All we're going to do is start off by having the pan up off the surface that we're going to use and shake it. And this does the same exact thing as what you would have with water. It brings the large rocks up to the surface and starts settling heavy objects to the bottom. So after shaking it for a bit, we can see that the large rocks are at the front here. There's not going to be any gold that's going to be at the bottom, so we can get rid of them. Obviously a classifier would do the same thing. Now, this is the important part. There's the riffles. That's where we want the gold because we don't want it to go past that. So from here on out, everything is going to be tilted forward and we're going to go side to side only on our base. So on our log in this case, to cause friction. Side to side. And very gradually we start moving the pan forward. You can see how slow I'm going with the dirt very gradually falling over the front. That is incredibly important. If you do get a big collection of rocks, this will also happen in water. You can very carefully scrape them out and get rid of them. And if you feel the need to, every now and again, you can resettle everything to the bottom and start again. We're down to that final last little bit. Now, there's a method in getting to reveal the gold. If you want to do it, I suggest just tipping this into a collection container, going home and wet panning it. But we'll try because there might be some gold and we might see it. Who knows? Let's give it a shot. So what we want to do is hold the pan sort of like a violin. I hold it right where the dirt is, wrap my thumb around it. I put the pan on about a 30-degree angle and I tap. I'm going to tap right next to the camera, so if it falls over, that's why. And what that will do is for light things to walk up the pan and precipitate all the heavies back down into that riffle section. It can take time to get this right, so stick with it and practice at home. Camera's walking itself up. Hang on, see if we can't get that a little bit tighter. There we go. Okay, I had to turn the camera off because it kept falling off the pan. But what we've got here is the heavy concentrates at the bottom, the larger rocks, and probably ironstone shotgun pellets, and hopefully the gold. And up here we've got all the lights. Just as a side note, make sure that you keep all of this and pan it off, because if you do have ultra light gold, it will walk itself up with the lights as well. Well, I'm looking and I'm not seeing. I've hit a little bit of a snag. Whilst it is going to allow me to check if there is something at the base of this waterfall because there's no water in it, the soil is still damp, and when you are dry prospecting, it needs to be bone dry because it will gum everything up and it just turns into these little mud balls. It's not very handy. So you can see this soil here actually has some moisture content to it compared to this stuff up here, which is absolutely bone dry. Yeah, there's just a lot of moisture in that soil. I was going to give this a shot, but that dirt is way too wet to do the dry pan in. What I'm going to do instead is put it in the sun. Hopefully it will dry out a little bit because there isn't, like, it's not sopping wet, it's only damp. So we'll let it dry out. Maybe I'll be able to do the pan from the base of the waterfall by the end of the day. If not, I'll be taking it home and just wet panning it. So let's let that dry out. Go find another crevice. The gold claw pan, interestingly, is very much designed for dry prospecting, dry panning like this, because the whole principle of it is to shuffle the pan side to side. Most people utilize a circular motion with a normal pan, which you shouldn't do because it spreads the gold out evenly over the bottom and not to the front riffle, but that's another video completely. Wow. Right. I've run out of patience in tapping because I just want to keep processing more. I can't see anything obvious in the dirt. So again, we'll just tip it into the bucket and then go wet pan it when we get home. Oh, yes. So whilst this creek is very dry and we haven't had any rain in a couple of months, we've still got moisture in these nice deep cracks. However, I have just discovered, unlike a regular pan, when I use the gold claw pan, it still worked. So I will try it. Yeah, it's probably not going to be as efficient. The soil is probably going to ball together and take away some of my gold, but that's the cost that I've got to pay for not having any actual water to pan off it. Just discovered you can do this without a log with the gold claw pan. The weather is changing. Look at the sky. We've got dark clouds and a nice cool breeze coming up because I am sweating. It's like a sauna out here. We're going to just do these last pans. Well, I've got this much concentrate, which is probably half a gold claw pan. Michael has a bit more than me because he's been a bit more productive. Look at that. He's probably got a full pan's worth. We're going to take these buckets of concentrate to some water and do one wet pan each and see if we did manage to collect any gold. I am happy if I get one speck of gold. If I get one speck, it'll be a good day out. Yeah, okay. What do they do? Yep, that's a good move. Oh my God! Oh my God! I do not know how much of that you saw on camera just then, but I got my one speck. There is a lot of gold in my pan. There is a lot of gold in my pan. So this is just the concentration for about 10 pans worth of dry panning out of that crevice. Here we go. Oh baby, look at the specks in that. Can you see that little ribbon of gold? Yeah, you're learning, that's all. Oh, hey, you got gold.
There's one bit.
We got gold.
2 bits. 3 bits.
There we go. So we've got a speck there and a speck there, and we've got this. And this is potentially what is called amalgam. Potentially. It's silver and it's gold shaped. There you have it, guys. That was our dry panning session. We only did about 10 to 15 pans of dry concentrates each with the gold claws. It worked absolutely brilliantly. I cannot believe how much tiny gold I got. I knew there was gold in that gully, but I haven't seen that much tiny flakes. I normally pull out chunks, so that was awesome to see. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button because that helps me build the channel better for you guys. As always, I hope to catch you out there sometime. I'm out.